wanted to do a short review with you before the test. You should have level 5 exit pass, mixed formulas, and mixed naming. Make sure you're on the side that says review. The review involves writing formulas for a list of compounds in the chart, and off to this side, off to the right, you have formula charts just in case you need them. When you look at number 1, you see that it says gold 3 bromide. You know that on page 16 of your notebook you have a reference sheet and you can find the symbols and charges of gold 3 and bromide. You can use a formula chart for this, so we'll go ahead and write it over here on the right hand side. You've got Au, the charge is +3. You know bromide is Br, the charge is -1. You're going to cross the 3 over to Br. The formula would be Au Br3. So then you write that in the main chart. Number 2, tetraphosphorus decasulfide. These you don't need formula charts for because you have prefixes. Tetra means 4, deca means 10. Symbol for phosphorus is P, so we have P4. Symbol for sulfide is S, so we have S10. Magnesium hydroxide. When you don't see prefixes, you know that you need a formula chart, so you're going to go off to the right, and you know that magnesium is Mg, the charge is +2. Hydroxide is OH, the charge is -1. We talked about putting parentheses right here, and that's just in case you cross a number over. That reminds you of where the parentheses go. You do see that you want to keep them because the 2 is going to get crossed over. So my formula would be Mg, parentheses around the OH, and a subscript of 2. When you look at number 4, vanadium 5 oxide. Here we have another Roman numeral, and since you don't see prefixes, you know you need a formula chart. Vanadium is V, and the Roman numeral V means +5. Oxide is O, charge of -2. To balance this out, you're going to cross the 5 over to the O, and the 2 over to the V. This formula would be V2O5. Next we have aluminum acetate. We'll use the formula chart again because we don't have prefixes. We've got Al with a charge of +3. Acetate is a polyatomic ion, and it's C2H3O2. Charge is -1. We'll put parentheses around this, polyatomic. And we're going to keep the parentheses because the 3 gets crossed over. We don't cross over 1 because it's understood. So the formula would be Al, parentheses C2H3O2, and we need 3 of those. Moving on to the next part of the worksheet, we're going to skip to number 7, and we've got K3P. Now we're going back the other way. We're writing the name. K is positive, so we are not going to use prefixes to name this. We'll write the name of K, which is potassium. And the name of P is phosphide. And just make sure you look up the names of your ions because you know we have phosphate, phosphite, phosphide, and you want to be real careful to get the right one. Number 8, nitrogen is a nonmetal. It makes a charge of -3. And so since our compound starts with a nonmetal, we know we're going to use prefixes. We need the prefix for 2 is di, and the prefix for 4 is tetra. So the name of number 8 would be dinitrogen tetra oxide. And just like for ionic compounds, we change the ending to "ide." Number 9, we have beryllium, which makes a charge of +2. No need for parentheses since we're starting out with the metal that makes positive ions, so we write the name of Be, beryllium. The name of PO4, we notice that's a polyatomic ion, and that one is called phosphate. Number 10, lithium makes a +1 charge. So we're not going to use prefixes, we just write the name of each ion. We'll have lithium fluoride. And number 11, another positive, no need for prefixes. We write the name of Na, which is sodium. The name of SO3, sulfite. All right, one more part before we're done with this side of the worksheet. On the example, the 2 examples at the bottom, we have names, and these names need Roman numerals. We know they need Roman numerals because we have transition metals, and when you look at your reference sheet, page 16, you'll see that Fe iron and Pt platinum can make different charges. So we have to use a Roman numeral to tell which one it is. First part, you just sort of break up your ionic compound into the 2 parts. Here we have Fe, and here we have N. We know the charge of N, nitride, it's -3. So if N is -3, Fe has to be +3 so that it balances. And then the name of Fe +3 is just iron, Roman numeral 3, nitride. All right, this last example is a little more complicated, but again, we're going to break it up into parts. So we have Pt, and then we have PO4. And you notice I didn't carry the subscripts with me. I kept this 4 because it's with phosphate, but the other 4 I do not carry with it. I know the charge of phosphate is -3, and I can see how this 3 got crossed over and became a subscript for the platinum. So if I work backwards, I can see that 4 had to get crossed over to the phosphate, and that tells me that this platinum is platinum 4. Roman numeral for 4 is IV. PO4 is called phosphate, so that name would be platinum 4 phosphate. When you turn this paper over, you'll see a worksheet that looks exactly like the one we just did, except with different problems. I'd like you to finish those on your own for practice, and you're going to turn this worksheet in along with your test. Good luck on your test today.